Hello, this is James Barton from Developing Telecoms. I'm here with Val Vaduva from Enghouse Networks, and it's day 2 of Mobile World Congress, so things are getting pretty busy. So what are your impressions of the show so far?
Absolutely, thank you. We've been at this show for a number of years. It's this year, these shows, they tend to ebb and flow. Participation tends to change over time as the industry evolves. This year, we're pleased to say that the show, we find it busier. We found more interest, more traffic at our booth, more engagement with our existing customers and partners, but also more interactions with new areas of growth of the industry. We've heard as well about challenges, right? Of course, as you would imagine, the industry has been through this cycle of low returns. There was a lot of talk for a number of years, this is not something new, of the 4% of return on capital and the almost $1 trillion that has been invested in various areas of the infrastructure. So we know 5G is still yet to take full shape in the industry. There are approximately 300 or so 5G networks worldwide, but only about 60 of those are standalone, meaning the entire back end has been upgraded to 5G and all of the benefits and the scale it can offer. So we know all of these challenges. Our role here is to support the industry to evolve from this, to grow, and to grow by fostering an ecosystem, by looking for new areas where the industry can grow, given now that the technology is largely built.
So it sounds like private networks and IoT are 2 areas that have seen lower growth than was expected.
Yeah, so we have private networks. Let's start with that. So in private networks, there has been a lot of talk, a lot of standardization, a lot of projects, some driven by the GSMA, such as the Open Gateway, with this whole idea of making networks programmable and opening them up for third parties, right? IoT as well, we know it kind of didn't scale up to the expectations. These are known in the industry. The industry is working towards it. There are barriers.
So what are those barriers then? Like, do you know what they are firsthand?
Absolutely, and we also have a few things up our sleeve that can help out, right? So in terms of barriers with IoT, for example, we know IoT is hard. Why? Because if you think about how an IoT application is, an IoT application has a device, by definition. The device has hardware, which is in itself hard to develop, to scale, and to deploy software for. Then you have some form of connectivity, then you have some form of backend, whether that's SaaS or dedicated or a mixture of the two. And that makes it very difficult for an organization to manage that end-to-end spectrum. Why? Because you have somebody typically is more specialized in designing hardware. Somebody else is more specialized in devising software, but then you have friction where the hardware meets the software. And for an IoT application, end-to-end application to run, such as a customer would like, if you approach a city and you offer them a solution with IoT for their parking, they would like to talk to one organization that provides things end-to-end. The other thing we know, these are highly specialized. We, in Enghouse, we have our own thriving IoT business in payments and transportation. So we know the area well. We've been able to scale it, but we have taken a consistent approach towards that.
Okay, so what is Enghouse doing then to address the challenges that you've kind of discussed?
Absolutely. So for our telecom business, what we are looking at to be able to scale this type of new areas of growth with players that are not as sophisticated, large, and capable as a telco provider. We're looking at simplifying our portfolio, integrating it, and by the way, we're well along the way on that. Simplifying it, integrating it, and making it composable, meaning you can pick and choose various areas of our entire OSS, BSS, infrastructure, media, systems. You can pick and choose them and compose them just based on what you need. To give a simple example, I'm a private network operator that enables smart manufacturing. Then I can pick network engineering to engineer my network. I can pick monetization to be able to monetize it. And I can pick messaging to be able to provision the devices in the smart factory that I'm rolling out the 5G private network for. Right, so by using this type of platform, end-to-end, simplified, you lose some customization ability, but you lose all of the complexity that is necessary in a traditional environment. And you get the ability to compose everything freely and go to market very quickly.
Okay. So in terms of then private networks, IoT, what are you guys doing to address like the issues that we've discussed?
Right, so to explain how this platform applies into a real like use case, just the other day we had someone visiting us that is a private network operator. They were rolling out private network for a smart manufacturing facility, and they have built a network faster, if you can imagine, with towers, with sensors, with radio, with all of the core radio and 5G capability, faster than they could get the backbone provider, which was a telco, to give them systems to be able to monetize it, right? Because you need to understand how your end customer is using it, to what extent, and you need to comply with a certain set of SLAs, because the production facility stops if your communication infrastructure is down, right? So that speaks to how we solve this with our platform. You would take it, or the telco provider could sell it as a service to these types of players. You would take it, you would compose it in the way I have explained, and you'll be up and running. It wouldn't take 6 months to monetize it, it would take 2 weeks.
Okay, great. So we focused a lot on challenges and barriers, and you've discussed how Enghouse is helping to address these. What would you say are the main reasons for optimism then, coming out of the show?
Excellent question. We always have to think optimistically. So in terms of the industry outlook, and to touch again on IoT, this industry has a lot of capability of managing IoT. If you think about it, every device we all hold in our hands is an IoT device. It may be a very smart one and very capable one, but it is an IoT device. And we were able to scale it worldwide with a lot of complexity. But what is needed for the next scale, we have the software, we can build our platform, we have and support our platform at scale, simplified for this type of operator. In addition to that, the hardware side has to be specialized, but it has to be scalable. And the industry needs to come to a form of ecosystem, and we are thinking about that with our platform to open it up to third parties so they can integrate their IoT applications in it, so everybody can use it, following the same principles of open GSMA and being able to roll it out. So in terms of optimism, why should we be optimistic? Because we're doing the right things, right? We're standardizing APIs. Now APIs have been around since the 70s, I would say. It's always a nice thing when you hear something so old as a concept being so hyped, but it is absolutely necessary for all of the system to interop frictionless. So we're doing that. We're standardizing. We're opening networks to programmability. So then, the next startup can use a network and infuse connectivity and wireless connectivity into their application. We need platforms such as ours. We need more standardized hardware kits to be able to scale IoT. But I'm optimistic, especially in these two areas, in IoT and private networking, because private networking is something that's absolutely necessary at scale for things as mundane as environmental monitoring or public safety. So to sum it all up, we're doing what's needed. We're putting the right building blocks in place. And this industry has always excelled at bringing a variety of parties to the table and making them work together. And that's the only solution to scale.
Sounds like you're on the right track to achieve growth at scale.
Absolutely.
Val, thanks very much for talking to us.